All right, so I've currently got Yvette on the phone. She's another musician that reached out about the interview series. I'm going to go ahead and give her the chance to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Yvette Hernandez. I'm from Fresno, California. Actually, recently moved to Florida. I was in the military for 7 years, and that's where a lot of my stuff kind of came about.
Awesome. So with these interviews, I always like to kind of start in the beginning and find out, how you first got involved with music. What about it pulled you in and made you want to participate in it?
Well, first thing, I loved the spotlight. I loved being part of just the music itself, singing, dancing, more onto the singing side. When I was younger, I was 4, and Selena Quintanilla she was a model to me. She was the reason why I continued on with my singing and
Mm-hmm.
kind of going out in Fresno and not necessarily throwing gigs, but talent shows per se.
So with that being kind of your motivating factor of getting into music, did you take vocal lessons at all? Were you in choir in school?
I was in choir in school. I was. And I sang at the church and Carruthers.
Okay. Would you generally say, though, that you kind of aim to explore, becoming a vocalist outside of the regular curriculum and kind of took it on yourself?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay. And so what kind of motions did you make to kind of put yourself in the trajectory that, that would eventually lead into you becoming a vocalist and, participating more in that vein of music?
Actually, I joined a lot of talent shows, and I joined a talent show when I was in 8th grade. And I did not know that there was Akon's producer was there. So I won the contest, and that's when I kind of knew at that point, like, I really, really, really want to get into music because
Mm-hmm.
I'm good to somebody. I won the contest.
Sure.
So after that, I just continued making my own music and producing, mixing, mastering, so on and so forth. Yeah. And
Sure.
I just continued.
So you tapped into a couple things there, writing your own music, doing your own production and stuff. So at some point
Yeah.
you decided, I got to do some of this myself and start picking up. Did you just do keyboards, or how did you go about producing music?
When I was younger, my father bought me an accordion. And I wasn't that great at it, but I knew how I wanted my music to sound.
Sure.
And I eventually taught myself how to play the guitar.
Okay.
And after that, I played a couple of chords here and there, the simple ones, and I just wrote my music from there.
Okay. And then at some point, you learned how to also do production. So I assume you fixed yourself up with some sort of method of recording your instruments as well?
Yes, yes, sir. I did. I was stationed in Arizona where other musicians were trying to get their stuff in,
Mm-hmm.
and they wanted to be heard. Therefore, I had thought, hey, why not? I'm in the military. I can be a helping hand for these musicians that are in Korea and Arizona and Tennessee, so on and so forth.
Sure.
And that's where I really, really, really dug deep into this is what I want. And to me, it wasn't much of a job per se. When you love something,
Mm-hmm.
you love doing it. It was phenomenal, and I still love it.
Sure, absolutely. So were you working with mainly people that were on base with you? Did you live on base? How did you kind of step into the network of musicians to start working with people?
Let's see. In Korea, I actually started working with the producers outside base. So they're not American, they're Koreans.
Sure.
I worked with them, and I got to meet a lot of musicians out there, and we collaborated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I started networking out there. Same thing with Arizona and in Hawaii too.
Okay, so you did step into like the local music scene to start pulling in talent and working with them to
Yes.
network with them.
That's correct.
Awesome. That's great. So where do you think that you currently are now with your productions and stuff? Are you putting music out? Are you booking shows? What are you currently up to?
As of now, I'm getting my bachelor's in audio production, and I do have my own. I do put out my own music on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube Music.
Okay. And what do you
Yeah,
think, like, the angle of the music that you put out on? Like, I suppose what I mean is, like, what's the general message that you're trying to send with your music?
with my music, I mean, every song that I have out, it comes with a message. I don't make up these things. It has a message. Now, some of the songs are in Spanish, some of the songs are in English. Um, but it's just I I try to help people with my music. I
Okay.
want them to understand, you know?
Okay, so in general, you would say that you have kind of an altruistic message where you're trying to support people through whatever
Yes,
they're
that's
going
correct.
through. Awesome. So what do you want for your future? Like 5, 10 years from now, where would you like to see yourself as a musician?
I actually would love to see myself either back in Nashville, Tennessee, or I can produce or sing or create myself as a musician out in Tennessee or Miami.
Okay. And is that because of a particular music scene that you're interested in, or what would guide you to those places?
Um, Music scene, yes, for Tennessee, and but actually, yeah, it'd be more the music scene because uh, I mean, I was in the military. There's a military base out there, so I know there's a lot of soldiers out there. You
Sure.
know, we all gather at some point, visitors as well. But then there's Miami where the beach is at, and I love the beach.
Sure.
And yeah,
So you've mentioned the military component to being motivated several times. So
yeah,
is that kind of the focus of the people that and musicians that you want to work with, is fellow military
no,
people, or
no,
okay, so that's just something in general that
yes,
since you're in the military, you relate to those people.
yeah. That's. I mean, I relate to it. I'm open to work with anybody, actually. You know,
Sure, absolutely. So with all of the time that you've been working in music and everything, what would you say are some of the most prominent moments that have stuck out to you? Whether it was originally learning instruments or writing stuff, what kind of sticks with you and keeps you motivated?
keeps me motivated. It's I wouldn't say exactly the accomplishment. It's the feeling of I'm getting somewhere. This is because when you have a song and let's say for instance the beat drops at that moment you I get butterflies and it's beautiful. That's what keeps me motivated and it keeps me going. And then I get people like other producers, other people that create the music, and I share my ideas with them, and
Hmm.
they too state things like that actually sounds good. That's good. I like it. I mean, we all kind of want some motivational okays, and you know,
Sure, definitely. So would you kind of say that, you're kind of chasing something within yourself, the way that you describe, you're constantly in pursuit of that butterfly in your stomach feeling from the beat drops and working with other musicians kind of thing?
I'm pursuing more like how do I say it? I want I want uh I just want I don't even have words for this.
Sure. That's fair.
I
It's okay to want, for sure.
You know when you love something so much, you just you don't know necessarily what it is that you love about it, but you just love it.
Yeah.
There's not really a want to it. It's
Hmm.
just it's there. It's all of it.
Sure, definitely. So, since you are out there putting stuff out, where can people find you? What are your social media links, and where can they listen to your stuff?
I actually Instagram. I mean, I have a link tree.
Okay.
So with that link tree, on Instagram, you can find me on underscore EJ. EVE or underscore EVEJAE. And on Facebook, it's Yvette J. Hernandez. Same with Eve J on YouTube Music. Spotify's the same. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And I always like to give the person I'm interviewing the opportunity to put out their last word. So a message that you just want to throw out there that you strongly believe in.
Oh man. Don't ride the wave. You are the wave.